Hello, well, my name is Jeff. I'm retired and live in Charlotte. I uh, I thought I would post this. Maybe it'll be therapeutic for me in the long run. We'll see how it goes. I guess a little about me first is I was born in '64. My dad was in the Air Force, so I was born in Maine. However, we moved to Hawaii when I was 6 months old, and I believe, if I do the math correctly, we were there for 4 years. Now, I do have distinct memories. I remember the fire from the hula dancers, and I remember the neighbor kid would bother me, and I beat him up. My mother said I chased him back to his door, rang the doorbell, told his mother he was bad, and proceeded to beat him up right in front of her. So anyway, being an Air Force brat, I moved around a lot, all over Washington and Baltimore, Maryland. My dad was in intelligence before all four of us were born. I was the second of four, brother, me, sister. 3 years apart, 4 or 5 years apart from me. Lived in North Dakota 5 years. My dad took a tour offer that a lot of GIs did. It was in Minot, North Dakota. Burr, just saying it. And the thing of it is when my junior year was over, all of the people and their kids that had done the 5-year tour, which was quite significant, left. So we were on our way to Guam, and it was tough. Well, on Guam, I had an absolutely fantastic time. It was my graduation year, so you already know the excitement that is. My brother and the rest of my family had skedaddled back to the States. They couldn't take it. I wasn't leaving. So after high school, which there was another girl, my girlfriend's sister, Alice, we both arrived at that school system with more credentials, credits, whatever, than they even need. So we had to take government, we had to take PE, and we had to take Chamorro history, the name of the people of Guam. I didn't mind that. We would get out early enough. We would walk to the beach, to Mooning Bay. We went to JFK High School, so we walked down the hill. We always stopped at the McDonald's on the way and got a sundae. That was part of our thing. Sometimes we'd hop on the bus that goes around the island and get off at different bases and go to their beaches. I remember one time we were way out there, and we headed back. But we did senior skip day, and then I will use the word forced. I did not want this. I was forced to enter and represent our high school in a modeling contest. Of course, I win the school contest. So I go up against the rest of the people on the island. John Robert Powers, business and modeling school. I learned a lot of business etiquette, techniques, and whatnot from that, and then learned how to model. I hated every minute of it. However, here I was, 16 years old. I graduated early, making $35 an hour, or $4.50 a day. I mean, come on. I had commercials on TV, which I would never tell my friends about. I had a really good group of friends. I didn't have any white friends. I always go with the natives. And it was fun. I have to admit that it was fun being a celebrity. But that lasted pretty much until I left back to the States, I definitely fell in love. It was beautiful, beautiful family. I was accepted. Wonderful food. The food on Guam, oh my word. Some of it's Filipino based. Eyes roll back in your head. It was so good. My grandmother used to make a dish I brought back to her. She used to make it all the time. Now, if your grandmother's making something from a Pacific island, you know that shit good and easy. So I come back, heartbroken, whatever. I proceed to walk to work through the snow. I think I was living on the floor or something in my mom's house. Whatever. So I saved up to get my car. It was a Pinto. And I did very well. The closest place I could walk to before I got my car was Pizza Hut. So I quickly moved up in management. Got sucked up to Charlotte, because that was down in South Carolina, Chester, bless his heart. And I stayed there 5 years, and I ended up being training manager for the entire East Coast. It was awesome. Now, I fell in love again, which would only be my last love. So, and we met when I was 21, and stayed together 37 years. We had a most gloriously blessed, beautiful life. Steady employment, because I was a go-getter. Blessed with friends out the wazoo, just godparents. We could not ask for more. We were blessed. We felt like the grandparents of the group, and I'm not sure if they saw us that way, but it was nice. And we developed a penchant for going out to eat at fine restaurant dining. Now, we'd always been cooks. We both cook, and we're damn good. My website, unique.com, is a cookbook. I just used it for dinner tonight. So, our penchant for going out to eat bled over to our friends eventually over time, and we had some pretty wild times. There was one time, one of the ladies with us, she looked up at the credenza that they had in our room behind us, and she saw all these bottles opened and empty. She goes, "Did we drink all that?" And my other buddy's like, "Yeah, we did." And the waiter's like, "Oh, you sure did." So we burnt our get out of jail free cards more than one time. But of course, as we aged, wisdom got a hold of us, and whatevs. My friends started taking Ubers. We didn't know enough about all that to really care. So, but that was really fun. One of the restaurants, Palm Restaurant, they actually put our picture on the wall. Is that not just precious? So we're up there for an eternity. So, as things would go, we bought a house. I paid the mortgage off last year. I gardened heavily when we first moved in. That's all I wanted a house for, was the land. And I would can. I learned from my nanny, I would can tomatoes, corn, green beans. I would grow broccoli in the winter and fall, and greens. But what's in the South, it ain't just collards. It was mustard and turnips. And I would put all that stuff up frozen. So I'd have canning and frozen. Every year I would make strawberry preserves from the best strawberries on the planet in Fort Mill. Yum. I used to make plum jelly from my buddy, and it was delicious. I actually have a Chinese marinated recipe that uses plum jelly. I'd challenge you to go to your grocery store and find it on the shelf, because you ain't. So, I guess now for the reality. In April of 22, I was swelling in my feet and it was starting to go up my legs. I'm flat-footed and I've dealt with it all my life. When I was a kid, my dad used to come in my room when I would sleep, he'd cry and screaming and rub my legs down, and it made me feel better. Doctors said it was growing pains, whatevs. So anyway, I went to a podiatrist concerned. She said, of course, I need to get the swelling down so that we can see what might be causing this. I said, sure. So she prescribed to me 2,400 milligrams of ibuprofen a day. I argued with her and I said, you, madam, are going to rip my stomach out from the inside. She got all snippy with me and lunged back in her chair and she said, it ain't gonna kill you to take it for a week. So I go home, I talk to my buddy, we're deciding. I'm like, okay, I'm not the doctor. She is, I'll do it. Well. 3.5 days in, I start throwing up. Now turn the volume down if you don't want to hear. I'll put an okay when I'm done. I started throwing up pure blood, not blood mixed with something, pure blood. And then I was passing tar. So I finally go to my buddy. I say, I've been throwing up blood today. And my buddy goes, what do you mean have been? How long? I said, about 6 hours. They're like, get in the car. Go to hospital. 3.5 days. They didn't think I had 5 days in me because the liver was so damaged by not only its age and abuse. I was always honest about my partying. And but the overage of ibuprofen, which would usually attack the kidneys, went for my old beaten up liver. So they didn't think there was enough strength in the liver to not only sustain but heal. Now no one told me this when I was in hospital. So my buddy goes home every night thinking that's the last time he'll get to see me. So I just finally gave that away. I'm not ashamed of it, but I don't wear it on my sleeve. He neither did. His name was Bobby. I met him as Bobby. Get through this without breaking down. It was at first sight. It was immediately. We both knew. And we were blessed the whole time. So anyway, back to my dilemma. I was determined not to let this crazy quack doctor kill me. And I also had my faith, which, by the way, God led me to a church, uptown Charlotte, Ascension Lutheran Church, Pastor Steve Newberg. Enough said, it's bomb. We're coming into the holiday season now. It'll just be joyous. It's lovely. And then I'm telling you what, Lutherans do Easter up, man. All the way from now till Mardi Gras. It's awesome. So I decided to go cold turkey. My doctor that I started seeing after I got out of hospital to become my new PCP, he said, no, people can't do that. I said, well, I did. And I just had a checkup yesterday, and I reminded him of that, and he blushed and giggled. I said, you have no faith in me. You didn't know who I am. Once I make my mind up, it's done. Trap. So then we get into recovery, which was rough. I was invalid. I was like a baby. I couldn't do anything. So anyway, I had noticed myself in January of that year, Bobby had seemed to not feel so well. Uncharacteristic of him, he had an iron stomach. He never, ever had to worry about stomach problems. He just didn't. So August comes, and his doctor suggests he go to see an oncologist. Okay, I'm like, what is that? I look it up. I'm like, cancer? Oh my God. So we go. And to add insult to injury, as if this weren't the worst day in both of our lives, this shit-ass snotty doctor looked at me and said, well, since you don't have insurance, if you don't have the money, if you don't secure $50,000, we won't be able to start treatments. And then he says, it's not curable, so we can't do anything about it. So all we can do is make you feel better. Well, I told him off. We left. We cried. We tried to go out for lunch. Didn't work. We didn't speak to each other for 3 days because we were horrified. And then the rest is history. Time went on. I'm still recovering. Remember this. I'm toting him all over Charlotte for treatments and stuff. And I'm praying and I'm believing. And God called him home on April 23rd, 2023 at 12:57. I don't know what your stance is or how you feel you should be, but I knew that I needed to be there. If I wouldn't be there, I would feel guilty. But I'm telling you right now, that is something that's in my head that still has yet to pop in without causing me pain. I have the best support system in the world, and I'm at a stage right now where I'm just triggered and I start crying at any given time. I pop out of it and then I'm okay. My nose is itching. Excuse me. So the funeral was nice. Pastor did a very good job. He was shocked at how many people. We had people from 30 years ago who knew people currently in my church. He's like, I have never, first of all, seen this many diverse people from this long of a period of time, but then to have them know each other and know you. He said, that's a testament to you and who you are. So we got that out of the way. I haven't done very well about it. We were a beautiful couple. Our loves were going out to eat, going to the beach, hence the tan, because I keep it up. And Christmas was always special. His mom started where he and his brother would get from her a little trinket, either on a gift, in a stocking, whatevs, but it would always have their name and the year. Well, clearly, I kept that going. So not only did we have his like 18-ish, but we were together 37 years. So our entire tree, I keep looking up at it, our entire tree was basically, it is basically memories, everything on it. Let me see if I can't make this work. I don't know how this works. There's his angel. Do you see that behind the candle and the candy cane with the pine cone? That's his grandmother's. It's real tinsel. And if you look all around the top of that ring, all of those ornaments are old and his grandmother. And then you can see our stuff filling in. There's his stuff. There's our stuff. There was last year's, our picture at Palm. There was his. I loved the birds that he had in his. And little Santa Claus. That's some of ours. And it was just a mess. Everybody, my friends would come over just to see the tree. Not to see me, just the tree. That's not true, but anyway. So the second Christmas without him, I never took the tree down because I knew If it ever came down, it would never go back up. And we never had a artificial tree until 22, when I knew neither one of us could schlep a tree up. We just couldn't do it. And then when all that happened in 23, I just left it up. It doesn't bother me so much. There's been times where I've had to turn his pictures around because I can't look at them without crying, but I've gotten that back. So I'm kind of a lonely man. I feel as though I'm being punished for something I didn't do. But my pastor and I have a beautiful relationship. We both love each other in a way that's very unique. He comforts me. He leads me to God. He helps strengthen me. And we're a good fit for each other. And people know that, and he knows that. And I'm just thankful. So, well, this has got to have been a long time, just over 20 minutes. I appreciate you listening just to the entry. Of course, I have a lot more to tell. If I find that anyone's interested in this, I don't know how all this works. I mean, I'm retired IT, but I didn't get a cell phone until 2016. Lord, what I used to have to go through. You don't have a cell phone? Like, I don't want one. But now I get it, and now, they're all like, damn you, Clarkson. You're the mother that ate the child. You're telling us how to use our phone, showing us things we didn't even know we knew how to do. I'm like, well, once a geek, always a geek. So I got that going for me. Anyway, I apologize for my nose itching like crazy. My doctor just had me to try a new antihistamine. Maybe that's what it is. It actually needs to be taken, but he's like me. I'm not going to take a pill unless I absolutely positively have to. And I'm on these diuretics and the heart pill that regulates pumping, the blood flow. I was hoping he would have taken me off them, but no dice. But he is extremely happy with my progress. I just have to learn. I learned through my brother who had a good idea when to take the diuretics. Now, I try to take everything at the same time every day. But if I take them before, say, like Bible study or something, or even church on Sunday, my teeth are floating by the time we get to communion. So I've learned to take them later in the morning. I've been forgetting to take the heart pill twice. Because I used to put Bob's out and mine out and those little thingies, and I'd have the 3 a day one or the 4 a day one, and blah, 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 Mr. Anal me. Whatever. I just grab the bottles and take it when I want to take it. I try to put out the heart one so I'll remember. So today, for instance, this is what happens. It was earlier than I thought I should take the second one. So I said, I'll wait a bit. Well, a bit goes by and another bit builds up. And I look at that bottle. I'm like, did I take that? I'm like, hell, I don't know. So I err on the caution that I did and I don't. I told Doctor that he didn't seem bothered, but he just, because he knows if he says anything, I'm just going to put my hand up. Speak to the head. So I know I'm a rough customer when it comes to that. Anyway, I could talk for hours. I've been so blessed with so many memories and so many friends and just a beautiful life. All I can say to you in closing is this. If you're in love, number one, always remember that instant moment in time when you knew you were in love. Never let that go. Never let them go, ever. Hold on to them with all of your might and don't let go. Love daily. laugh, eat well, enjoy, find the good. Take the blessings you were given and make them work. Life is fleeting. There's no guarantees for anybody. And what's here 1 second can be gone the next. That's one thing I can say about Bob is we had each other's back to the very end. I had to fight a lot for him during his treatments. Our medical thing is so messed up, but that's a different story. But okay, I'm getting emotional. I don't want to do that. I want to try to. Who am I kidding? Okay.